How to Change Your Life in 6 Months Explained. Hello and welcome. My name is Kartika Nair and you're watching Synchroshakti. I've grown up most of my life having very negative thoughts about myself, about the people in my life, about the different areas of my life, about life itself, about what I thought was possible, and from, of course, my beliefs about the universe. I've also been that person who has very vehemently scripted and affirmed and visualized to get amazing things from the very same people and the very same areas of life that I also held such negative beliefs and negative feelings about. So it's kind of like being on this boat where I had three people in my boat paddling in the direction of lack and pain, and I had three people in my boat paddling in the direction of the love and the freedom that I seeked in each of these areas. So I was going in circles for a very long time without much progress in any of these areas. What I wanted was to have harmony in all areas of my life, especially in my relationships and in my career and in my finances and in my health. Majorly, the reason I wanted all this was because I wanted to feel a sense of safety and a sense of security in this universe. Tell me in the chat, in the comments, if you relate to that desire as well. Now, I knew all about positive mental attitude. I've read so many books on positive mental attitude. I know I'm supposed to be grateful and I know I'm supposed to be thinking positive. But the problem was, because of my past, or the childhood stuff that I have been through, I used to experience such a strong fall down. Whenever something didn't go my way, I would crash down. Whenever someone did something or said something that hurt me, I would crash down. And when I'd crash down to the point that I can't produce the feelings of love and I can't produce those positive feelings that I'm supposed to. And I remember standing on this 10-kilometer private beach in Gokarna at night where you can see the stars twinkling, you can see the moon and its shine is on that water. You can see these beautiful ships, lights of the ships in the horizon, and yet I'm standing there in that private beach, and such a magical moment. I'm supposed to feel this joy. I felt nothing. Blank, empty, like nothing's inside my chest, because I numbed myself out of feeling pain so much because of the amount of pain that I was carrying in my nervous system that I couldn't feel joy. I couldn't feel appreciation. I couldn't feel gratitude. And all of that eventually, of course, led to, and this happened around the same time frame, led to my first major journey that I went on. So there were 4 major journeys I went on in my life. The first one, and when I say a major journey, I'm talking about a journey that took several years to figure out. So the first journey I went on was the journey of healing this anxiety disorder that I had manifested after all of the nervous system constantly reacting to life. I ended up having an anxiety disorder called panic disorder, which also came with its fair share of depression and a lot of madness. So the first journey I went on was the journey of healing this, which eventually got me to the concept of mindfulness, which I knew about before. But it was when I found this book, The Power of Now, that I found the actual missing keys of it, which I practiced like a bedrock of my life, a lifestyle, and I eventually came out of the anxiety and the depression. So that first major bedrock of my lifestyle that I continue to practice to this day is the mindfulness, especially the way it was taught in that book. The second journey, major journey I went on, was the journey of self-image. That's the journey where I had to reconstruct my self-image, especially from my past, because most of my self-image issues and the brokenness came from my childhood, preteens, and my teenage years, majorly, especially my teenagers, where I had to reconstruct how I saw myself, took a totally different perspective of myself from the past as well as myself from the present, and changed the way I felt about myself. This was the second major bedrock or the lifestyle that I walked. The third one, which is a very powerful journey, I like to call this the journey of predominance. Predominance is the immediate feeling we feel when we think of any area of our life, or the immediate feeling we feel when we think of anybody in our lives. If that immediate feeling is painful, negative, frustration, lack, powerlessness, we're off alignment. And even though I was feeling better about myself, when I looked very carefully at the different areas of my life and noticed, number one, and also the different people, I had very strong negative predominance around many of them. But I also noticed that there was major powerlessness around people, situations, especially certain areas of life. Tell me in the comments if you've experienced something similar. Now I had to go on a journey of then reconstructing shifting my predominant emotions from disharmony back into harmony related to the exact same people and the exact same areas of life without waiting on any of them or any of that to change. I had to find that harmony from inside of me. So that became the third major bedrock, or the third major journey I went on. Now, one thing I was noticing when I was going through these journeys was that, and this was this big aha moment, kind of reflecting back or looking at me in the eye, and it was the recognition that the more harmony I was feeling inside of myself, the more the harmony was being reflected from outside of myself. So I cracked the code. I figured out how, the answer to life, the universe, and beyond. I got it. But then I had to go on the fourth journey, and that was the journey of consistency. So there were times where I noticed certain patterns about myself, certain things about myself that I didn't want to work on. It seemed pretty tough to look at it. It seemed pretty tough to break through. So I would end up putting every other thing on my to-do list as priority, just so I would work on everything else, just so I didn't have time to work on myself. And I'd do that the next day as well. Again, I'd put every other item on my list first to do: cooking, cleaning, office, this, that, and I would make it in such a way that I had no time to do my inner work. Basically, I was running away from myself. So I had to start becoming consistent in the way of making it part of my lifestyle, practicing it as I was living my day, practicing observing as I was going through my day, practicing my predominance as I was living through my day. So I made it part of my lifestyle. So I had to go on that fourth journey of mastering consistency, especially when I didn't want to look at myself, the parts of me that were hurting, and the consistency, even when I was dropping the motivation to do it, I had to find a way to weave it into the lifestyle that felt easy and effortless to do. So this was the fourth journey that I went on. And eventually, of course, when it became part of that lifestyle and those bedrocks formed into a beautiful foundation of life, a beautiful lifestyle, the harmony began to reflect outwards. So starting off with the relationships, I cannot tell you what a 180-degree difference, or all the learnings and lessons I've learned around people and relationships. The kind of things I've experienced now, the last, let's say, 3-4 years, has been completely different to how crazy relationships were for me before. The second thing was my body. My body is capable of doing far more than I even imagined myself to be able to do. And I come from a history of health anxiety. So this was a whole different kind of resonance, harmony in my body, and the things it was capable of doing, and the healings that it was capable of doing in my own body. The third one was money flow. Money flow was there. Okay, I cracked that code a while ago, but I figured out how I could now get the flow happening even if I didn't have to think about money or focus my energy on money. Just because everything was a reflection of the inner harmony, I just had to harmonize internally, and that was the way that the money began to flow without me thinking about it. That was the beautiful part, because I had these bedrocks already sown through the lifestyle that I lived within myself around money, that I didn't have to focus on it after that. It's like the thermostat was set. The next one was related to my career. If I can put in words, and this would be a super long video if I had to go through the whole story here, but how different my career has been, how the kind of quality of people that have come into my life over the past 3 years, the beautiful students that we've seen, oh my God, phenomenal. The shifts that have happened in my career has been phenomenal, and that is one of the magic that happened with that inner harmony as well. So the major transformation was, now I knew how to make it a part of my lifestyle, and I knew how to come back to this. If I ever strayed away, I knew exactly how to come back. So that's that lifelong empowerment. That's that thing that worked every single time, that I could just come back to it. That's that magic. So this is the 2 lessons I want to teach you today. The first one is mixed energy creates mixed results. So if you're seeing that there is something stuck in your life, or something's not working, or something's going opposite, look at your energy towards it, and you'll notice that there is some negative emotion you have towards either the people or the elements or the situation or something. There's negative energy. You've got to get that out of the way, and you've got to replace it with harmonic energy, which is the second teaching. When you're in harmony with yourself, with the people in your life, with the different areas of life, with life itself, and with the universe, that harmony will reflect back to you. So this is the lesson of today. Now, I can't teach you how to ride a bike in a small video, or I can't teach anybody how to do that in a small video, but what I can do is I can go into far more detail about what I've just shared with you in a 2.5-hour training. So if that's something for you, listen up. So we're doing this training. Every year we do a phenomenal training for the world for free. And this year we're doing it on a topic called how to change your life in 6 months without 5 a.m. rituals and without forcing yourself to be positive. So if that's for you, listen carefully. The three things you're going to be doing in or learning in this class. It is free. It's 2.5 hours. This is for serious seekers who want to practice this kind of lifestyle. So it's not just technique, it's a way of life. So the three things you're going to learn is this entire lifestyle has been taught to you in a methodized way, step by step. So everything from A to Z will be taught to you, what you need to be doing. The second thing is how to stay consistent with this method in a time-free, guilt-free way, even when your motivation drops. And the third thing you're going to learn is how to change situations and people without forcing them, without nagging them, without manipulating them, just by having shifted your own energy. If that's something of value to you, go ahead and register below. You'll find the details, the date, the timing, everything is below, because you might be watching this video on a time where the date is, we finished the upcoming one and we're doing another one. So just check out what the date and the time is showing in the description. It is happening, the upcoming one is happening on Zoom. So Zoom has limited seats, so you'll have to book your seat immediately. So go ahead and register today, and I look forward to seeing you in that training. If you're not coming for the training, even though I have a feeling that you just might, if you're not coming for that training, just remember, these are the two lessons. Look carefully in your life and harmonize all the thoughts and emotions that you're now currently out of harmony about. And as you harmonize this, your life will reflect that harmony. Find better perspectives, find better thoughts, heal the pain, get from negative to neutral, neutral to build yourself up in better emotions and thoughts about the same people and same situations. And you will see that reflected back from life itself. If this is a valuable lesson to you, if you just cracked the code, just type valuable in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you took back. And of course, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you feel other people would benefit from this teaching, share this with other people, especially the journeys that we walked. Share it with other people. Subscribe if you like this vibration and the energies and things that we talk about here, because we are more about lifestyle than we are about techniques. So if that is something for you, go ahead and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in another video as well as in that training. I love you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Namaste.